Mission96 here, and now it is time for my top 10 favorite toys of 2011. Because it is at the end of 2011, I decided to do this. So here I'm just going to be picking out toys. Now, I have some rules for myself. First of all, even if I got them in 2011, they would have had to be released in 2011. For example, the Jabba the Hutt Palace set that I got was released in 2010, but I did purchase it in 2011, and I was very happy with that set, and if I was doing it just based on every toy that I own, that would have probably made it in very low, but it would have probably made it in top 10 favorite toys of 2011. But because I didn't buy it in 2011, I'm not putting it into the running. These figures have to be released within 2011. Obviously I'm only doing figures that I own. There's no figures that I'm like, wow, that one looks great, so I'm going to add it in my top 10 when I don't own it. I'm not doing that. I'm taking in consideration articulation, sculpt, how it is compared to the rest of the wave. I'm not taking in character, because characters, that can really mess you up, because some characters I like much more than others, when other figures are better than some of the characters that I liked more. So I'm really just going to go in consideration with all that. I'm also taking into consideration price, because, if you spend $100 on a figure, it better be much better than the 3 3/4 inch figure that you just bought for $8. Even though that 3 3/4 inch figure that you bought may be better for the money that you spent. So I am taking that all into consideration. So here you go. I might at the end make a 10 top worst toys of 2011. It's hard to do that with, though, because typically you buy what you are gonna like, so it's hard to get. There are some figures that are disappointing, but typically you don't get a lot of disappointing figures. So anyway, let's get started with number 10, and we'll count down to number 1. Some of these even surprised myself in what I picked. My number 1 choice, I am actually surprised that I picked, but now that I look back, I'm respecting my number 1 choice. I'm really happy that I picked it, because it certainly deserves it. So let's go, and let's start the countdown. King Loki is the number 10 pick of my favorite toys from 2010, or 2011, sorry. So here's Loki, a very nice sculpted figure, although almost impossible to get your hands on, even online, even with ridiculous prices, almost impossible to obtain. This figure is very nice, suffering from very few flaws. It is a pretty much flawless figure, other than a little bit of side painting, smudging on the side of the face, but I'm not considering that into my pick, because that is just my figure alone. That doesn't reflect the other King Lokis that have been released. But the major flaw that makes him not higher up in the line is that he does not include his staff, something that would have been very easy to make for Hasbro, but they just chose not to. So overall, he does deserve a place in my top 10, but he does just deserve the number 10 spot. Doesn't deserve more. So yes. Venom steals the number 9 spot on my top 10 favorite toys. As you can see, this is one figure that I was wanting, but I really could live without. But when I got it, I realized how great it is. Pretty much stunning figure. Paint is perfect. Love the face sculpt with the whole ton. Very much expression. You have all these little symbiote things popping out of his body and everything, looking crazed, but also amazing at the same time, with only 2 flaws that I can see. The lack of wrist articulation and the lack of waist articulation. With just 2 minor flaws, this figure deserves a number 9 spot in my top 10 favorite toys of 2011. Really just a fantastic figure that is pretty rare, but I have seen it twice in stores, and is a really just perfect Venom. The most perfect Venom I've ever owned, and was very pleased with. The number 8 spot certainly goes to the Diamond Select Loki figure from the Thor Diamond Select toy line. This figure is just twice as good as the 3 3/4 inch version, with fixing almost every flaw that the 3 3/4 inch version has. For example, there is no paint flaws, everything is superb, no paint flaws at all, just nothing. The cape color isn't my choice, I prefer the cape color that came with the smaller version, but still a nice cape color, does not hurt the figure. Has a perfect helmet with the horns, very hard plastic, and a staff, a beautiful staff that was sculpted in, really looking fantastic, and definitely deserving a number 8 place in my top 10 favorite toys of 2011. Deserving that 7th spot is the Clone Wars Armored Savage Opress, one of the most, if not the most, highly anticipated 2011 Clone Wars figure, and what a hard one to get, but is still amazing. This is an improvement to the already fantastic shirtless Savage Opress that was released very little before it, and really just a fantastic figure. Would have gotten a higher rating, but the lack of ankle and thigh joints, well, it does have a swivel thigh, but the lack of ball hinge thigh joints really just put it down to the 7. If they really went on, beyond and above, they would have added those articulations, and it would get a higher rating in or lower rating, however you want to look at it, in my spot. But overall, it's a nice sculpt. Could have been a lot better, but still pretty nice and definitely deserving that number 7 rating of my top 10 top 10 toys for 2011, with a fantastic updated sculpt from the already fantastic shirtless Armored Savage. The number 6 spot rightfully goes to the Shockwave from the new Dark of the Moon toy line. A very highly anticipated figure and a pretty spot-on robot mode. Really loving it. It is pretty perfect and spot-on a robot mode with the fantastic knife and gun arm that does also have the mech deck gimmick of making a triple blaster gun. Really fantastic sculpts, no paint messing up. The only flaw that I see in it is that the transformation is a bit difficult, although, you know, there's no paneling, but it is a bit difficult, and I can't say that I love the other sculpt, but the other mode. But the robot mode is quite fantastic, and rightfully gets it the 6th place in my top 10 favorite toys of 2011. And the number 5 spot goes to Doctor Strange from Marvel Universe Series 3. One of the, if not the best Marvel Universe figures that I own. Fantastic articulation. He wins in the number 5 spot purely on articulation, having the most, and probably, if I have to pick the best articulated figure of 2011, he would win. The most articulation I've ever seen in a figure. Every place that he lacks articulation, well, he just doesn't lack an articulation, that's the thing. Every spot, he's got articulation every spot possible, and it is the utmost best articulation in every spot possible. For example, the wrist normally would just have a swivel. He has a swivel hinge. For the ankle, normally they just have a hinge, maybe a hinge swivel. He's got a hinge swivel and a pivot. For the neck, normally they'd have a swivel or a ball joint. He has a ball hinge neck. Just absolutely fantastic. I can go on and on and on with a waist swivel and a ball jointed upper torso. He's just got the utmost perfect articulation and the best articulation figure I've ever seen. Purely just ever. I'm gonna end at that. Rightfully deserving the 5th place in my lineup. And the 4th place goes to the Hydra Leader Red Skull Diamond Select figure. Really a purely perfect figure. Just purely looks great. Articulation is fantastic, hindered only by the cloth in the pants here. Otherwise, it would be perfect. That's the only flaw that I see in it. He's got a fantastic Luger that looks perfect and is exactly movie accurate. One of the best face sculpts of 2011. A really just pure fantastic looking figure, and just a very menacing sculpt, a must-have for any Red Skull collector, and very rightfully earning its place at number 4. Love this figure, and the face sculpt really makes the figure and looks great. Earning the third place is rightfully deserved to Megatron from the new Dark of the Moon Voyager toy line. Very fantastic. One figure that I was highly anticipating and turned out to be really just great. Fantastic sculpt. Looks perfectly movie accurate. Also comes with a caped arm and a hood, which I don't have on him right now, but does come with it. Perfectly designed, perfectly sculpted. Has one of the best neck articulations I've ever seen in a toy, with allowing him to look up so far and just full rotation. Overall articulation is perfect. Transformation is pretty simple. For a Voyager, it's not bad, and the alt mode is just as good as the robot mode is. The only complaint that I have is I don't like the MechTech weapon. I never have, but that is a very small complaint. Otherwise, he is perfect and definitely rightfully deserves the number 3 spot in my 2011 Best Toys countdown. And in second place, we have Transformers Dark of the Moon Deluxe Starscream. One figure that impressed me very high, was excited for it, but when I got it, was just super impressed in the posability, the fantastic transformation. Probably one of the easiest deluxes that I've ever had that transforms so easy. I mean, it's almost easier than Scorponok, and Scorponok is the easiest transformer I've ever seen. This is one of the easiest, most easy to remember transformers I've ever seen, which really makes it win a lot. The alt mode is just as good as the robot mode. They are both perfect, with only lacking a bit in the paint. Can't say I love the whole paint design, but that is the only flaw that is in this figure. Was very highly impressed with it. Transformation is great. Jet mode is great. Robot mode is great. Articulation is great. Just really deserving the second place, with Starscream just being a little bit better than him. But the only thing is, the leader Starscream is just a little bit better than him. The only thing is, you have to pay 4 times the amount for that Starscream than this one. For this amount of money, this is definitely deserving the second place in my top 10 2011 lineup. Really fantastic figure. Any repaints that they come out with, I will be up there buying the first day it comes out. Just as many as they want to release, I will always buy repaints of this figure. So now just stay tuned for the number 1 spot toy. The number 1 best, my favorite toy for the amount of money that you spend on it, is going to have to be the Captain America, the First Avenger 3 3/4 inch Captain America figure. The best. You might be surprised in my choice, but I was surprised as well. When I wasn't excited for this guy, I was not. I got him purely because he was the main character. But when I got him home and took him out of the package, really stunning, really remarkable how great he was. He's got fantastic articulation, pretty much the basic articulation for the Hasbro Marvel figures, which is always very good. But what really stunned me is the accessories. Love each and every accessory. He's got the hat, the shield, and the gun. He's able to hold all 3 of them at the same time, which was the biggest disappointment about the Diamond Select Captain America. The Diamond Select Captain America didn't come with the hat, and you can only have him hold the gun at one time, or you had to keep the gun away and only allow him to hold the shield. This one you can hold all 3 at the same time. Fantastic posability, fantastic sculpt, fantastic articulation, fantastic paint. This is a flawless figure. There is no complaints that I have with it at all. There's absolutely nothing that I can say wrong with it. So, although you may be surprised in my choice of number 1, it's because I don't have one complaint, which each and every single one of these other figures, I've had at least one complaint, except for this one. I cannot find a single complaint. Even in the whole shirt and everything, it's sculpted beautifully. The way it's got the lines and the bumps and everything, and all of his armor and everything, it is absolutely perfect. And the paint is all perfectly laid out. There's no smudges or anything. This deserves a number 1 spot because it is a pure, flawless figure. A must-have for any Marvel collector or just toy collector in general, because it is just a beautiful figure and will enhance your collection by just 10%, because he is quite amazing just standing on his own. Really love it. No flaws whatsoever. Highly deserves the right place as number 1 in my top 10 2011 toys countdown. So that is my top 10 list of the top 10 of my favorite toys from the 2011 toy lines, just all of them together. So there you go. So you probably have some that you agree with me with, you probably have some that you disagree with me with, you probably have others that you think deserve to be in the top 10. This is just my opinion, so let me know your opinion of your top 10 favorite toys in the comments below. Give me your top 10 most disappointing figures 2011, or just give me the one figure that you think was really impressive and deserved number one, if you don't want to make a whole list. But please comment, tell me what your opinions on 2011 toys. And I think that I will do another video, not 100% sure, of the top 10 most disappointing toys. That's hard to do, though, because you buy toys because you're gonna like them. You buy the ones that you want. So it's hard to get toys that you don't like, but there are some that disappoint you that you thought that you'd like. Although there isn't a lot, there are some, so I will probably do one of those videos. But anyway, here is my top 10 list, with number 1 being Captain America, number 2 being Starscream, 3 is Megatron, 4 is Red Skull, 5 is Doctor Strange, 6 is Shockwave, 7 is, let me see here, Savage Opress, 8 is the Diamond Select Loki, 9 is the Venom, and 10 we have the smaller Loki. So there you go. So there is my pick of the top 10 best toys of 2011 that I own and that were released in 2011. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll be coming at you with some more videos because it's the end of 2011. Thanks for watching.